Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is the Piracy Show. Now in today's show we're going to be exploring stealth gameplay a little bit and committing crimes while under the aegis of stealth. And it seems like in the current iteration of Star Citizen, if you're using a ship that's in its stealth mode, you can actually commit crimes without gaining crime stat rating. Now, there are a few bugs in the system, and here I am. I'm just exploring Grim Hex right now. But seemingly, once you gain crime stat, you are going to spawn in Grim Hex, but this only happens, it appears, for a certain amount of time, as if your crime stat degrades for a certain amount of time after you've played. Now, of course, when I did this and I got to Grim Hex, I had originally gone in and switched off a satellite for a mission. That, of course, got me full crime stat. And then it didn't appear in the corner. Now, that is also a bug, which we have known since the 2.0 series of patches and beyond. Sometimes your crime stat just doesn't appear. And, of course, the current version of the mobiGlas doesn't really help out with that too much, because when you open it up and you look at your crime stat rating, it just says crime stat rating in the little window. It doesn't actually show if you have one or not or what it is. So take what I'm about to show you with a grain of salt, because there still could be bugs that could be preventing it from appearing or otherwise being changed by what I'm doing. But as I have been committing criminal acts in this video, as you're going to see, and as I'm approaching further satellites that are guarded by NPCs, I'm not being attacked, which leads me to believe that either my ship is so stealthy that I'm not being seen, or the fact that I committed these crimes later on under the protection of being kind of stealthed out, the game itself didn't recognize them as crimes. Now, firstly, I've accepted a mission here to disable Com Array 275. So I'm now going to be taking the Hornet Ghost out there and trying to disable the array. Now, whether or not I have crime stat rating, I don't know, because it just says crime stat rating, as you saw. So I'm going out to 275. There's a mission here, so there's going to be, NPC law enforcement at that site. But I am going to be switching my ship to stealth mode as soon as I come out of Quantum, and we're going to see how that works out. Now, forgive me if I kind of jump ahead a little bit here and there, just for the sake of brevity, just to get us to where we need to go and what we need to talk about. But here I am, I'm approaching 275, and of course I do have the mission. You can see it there, disable Com Array 275. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down here, and as soon as I come out, I'm going to immediately switch my ship to stealth mode. And there's an NPC here. And now we're going to slowly make our approach to the satellite. And as you can see in the lower left, you can see my signature starting to drop because I've gone into stealth mode. And I'm actually going to fly right past the ship and seemingly not get detected. So I'm going to be able to go in and disable this Com Array. Now, that ship appeared to be a freelancer. Of course, I didn't lock onto it. I didn't look at it. I flew right by, but you're going to see me repeatedly doing this at multiple arrays and apparently garnering no further crime stat rating, and also apparently not being attacked by the NPCs. They just seemingly don't notice me, and I'm kind of looking around to see if there's anything else out there. There's, of course, still one NPC out in front of me. Now, the freelancer might have just been a player hanging around here, but you can see now there's two NPCs guarding the objective, but they're not reacting to my presence whatsoever. And that's something that I was kind of hoping was going to happen. I really was hoping for a more signature-related stealth gameplay. Of course, certain ships that are inherently stealth would be better than others, but I was hoping for this type of signature manipulation, almost like kind of using a sonar system underwater and kind of, rigging your ship for silent running and that sort of thing. I was really hoping it was going to be this type of system, and it really does appear to be this type of system. And it appears to be quite efficient right now because, as you can see, the NPCs haven't attacked me yet. And I'm still originating from Grim Hex. Now, I don't have a crime stat rating that I'm aware of. Maybe it's hidden in the background. I don't know. It could be a bug. But for right now, apparently, I am just not drawing any attention. So I'm going to go in and shut down another comm array and see what happens. Now, one of the things that kind of leads me to believe that my crime stat rating isn't being displayed, and you're going to see it when I complete this mission here, is that I don't get an official notification that I've completed the mission. It isn't until later when I look in my history that I see, nope, I have actually been awarded the credits and I have technically completed all these missions, even though I didn't get a big notification that said, here's your 178 Alpha UEC, have a nice day. I didn't get any of those notifications, but I didn't get a notification for crime stat rating either, which if I had none, I should have gotten one. But maybe the system is basically working under the premise that if we don't see it happen, then it never happened. And because I'm operating in stealth, maybe that's the case. But I have now done this repeatedly over and over and over again, and it never garnished any kind of negative reaction, whereas previously with any other ship, if I was not operating in stealth, the second I did that, I would immediately gain crime stat rating, and as soon as I got in my ship, enemy vehicles would then, or enemy fighters rather, sorry, would then aggress me. So once I reactivate my ship here, I might get a nasty surprise. I don't know, but I'm kind of thinking that once I hop back in and power things up, that's when it may kick in. But once again, at least the ship remembers that I was in stealth mode and leaves me in stealth mode, which is nice. Now I start to move away. And nothing. I'm not being attacked. And there's another NPC right there, not touching me. Not moving towards me, not accelerating. I kind of pick up the pace with my ship. And this ship is apparently going to cross right underneath me from my left to the right. And yeah, it just doesn't even notice that I'm there. Now, of course, when you're operating in stealth mode, you can't engage your quantum drive, so occasionally you have to flip it on and off. So in order to get out of here, in order to warp away and basically complete this mission, if you look here, personal, accepted, I'm picking up another mission. And now I'm going to have to leave and go to that site, so I'm going to have to make myself quote-unquote visible again. But will they aggress? Won't they aggress? I guess we're about to find out. So now as I'm turning towards my destination, my ship is of course operating in a low power state, and then I kind of test to see if there isn't a quick switch to flip things back on and off, but unfortunately it seems the stealth button doesn't quite work that way. You have to manually power things back on, so I put my ship back into flight ready. I try to toggle the stealth off. Nope, that's not working. So I go back to this power bar and I manually drag it back over to give me enough power to use quantum.
Quantum drive is now on.
And nothing. No notice of aggression. Absolutely nothing. So it seems like committing a crime when you're not seen doesn't trigger any type of crime stat. So kind of something that we expected, but to see it actually working makes it a lot more interesting.
Quantum drive is now.
Now I fast forwarded again to my final hop to my next target, my next destination. And once again, there are going to be NPCs guarding it here, but I just don't seem to draw any attention.
Okay.
There they are, right down on my lower left, and I immediately switch to stealth mode. Nada, no reaction. They're just kind of, I guess, spawned there for the purpose of the mission, but they're just not reacting to me. Now this brings up some interesting possibilities, because if we can do this with this mission, then perhaps we can do this with other missions. Now you might be a player who plays on the legitimate side of things, where you're going out and you're doing salvage missions on the blown up Freelancer, the blown up Connie, the blown up Caterpillar, and you hate the fact that you seem to have to get into a gunfight every time you go into those missions. Well, perhaps not. If you're operating in stealth mode, maybe you can sneak up on your target and accomplish what you need to accomplish, and then simply slip out of there and no one's the wiser. See what I'm saying? Like, this has kind of some big implications for the game, and it's nice to see this layer of gameplay brought into the game. This was something that I was hoping for a long time, and it was something that I was a little bit afraid to test, because I thought, oh, these are just placeholders. Maybe it won't work, and it was going to be disappointing. But no, it totally works, and it works pretty damn good. So here I am at the next comm array, and I'm hopping out of my ship. So far, no aggression, no gunfire, no nothing. I'm operating out of Grim Hex, but do I have crime stat? That's the one big question mark. Do I actually have crime stat and it's a bug that it's not displaying, or what? I don't know. Because for a while every time I logged on, I would come on at Grim Hex, and then just today I log on and I only appear at Port Olisar. So I don't know if maybe there's a reset being done manually for the servers and our crime stat ratings, or if it simply decayed over time. I don't know, because I guess it was bugged and it just wasn't showing up. But here we go. We're going to shut down this array.
System powering down.
Nothing. No crime stat rating. That's pretty interesting. That opens up so many possibilities, and I am so glad that this is here. This really, I mean, the implications for what you can do in game just opened up. This opens up so many possibilities. Now at this point, I've become a little bit paranoid. So of course, I'm going to check my diary to make sure I'm getting credit for all these missions, and there they are. I'm not getting the notification, possibly just like crime stat. I'm not getting a notification that I do have crime stat, but then again, I'm not being attacked either. So very, very interesting that I can actually go and get paid and all that. So maybe the crime stat thing is a bug, but it seems that because I'm doing things in stealth mode, I'm not attracting any type of aggression. Now, one of the bigger problems is, okay, but if I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing, comm array shutdown missions, if I want to do other types of missions as a pirate, how do I, how does this system help me? Because, this ship can't carry cargo. True enough. Now, one of the biggest problems that we've talked about with stealth ships is the fact that none of them really carry any cargo. The closest thing that we got is the Prowler, but truthfully, we don't have that yet. And we don't know how long until we will. But here we're going to now take the Cutlass Black and experiment again to see if we can use the Cutlass Black to go ahead and trigger a crime stat or not by operating it in stealth mode. Now, if we pull this off successfully, if this works, then that means that any mission where you have to go retrieve cargo, and we're talking about the downed Caterpillar, the downed Starfarer, the downed Freelancer, all those missions where you got to go in and retrieve cargo, but it's being protected or patrolled by NPCs, it means all of those missions are potentially vulnerable to this tactic. And that is something that some people might say, oh, well, it's an exploit and they're going to patch it out. I think that that's intended. And I think that that is actually really solid and good gameplay, because not everything should be just go here, fight this, do that. There should be multiple ways to complete that objective. And by using stealth, that just gives you a different path to achieving that. Now, in respawning to kind of proof against what I'd seen before, to kind of test, when I logged back into the game, it had put me back at Port Olisar, so I have no crime stat rating. Now, before, when I would open it up, it would just say crime stat rating, but it wouldn't specify how much. Now the crime stat rating is blank, so clearly I have no crime stat rating. So there's no way that I can be going over the limit, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce out to one of the other comm and then bounce back in, because unfortunately Crusader is in the way. So we're just going to kind of ping pong around a little bit here and get to that comm. But thanks to the magic of editing, we can kind of cut a whole bunch of that middle stuff out, and boom, here we are. We're making our final approach to the comm and seeing if this has in fact worked. Or is going to work, sorry. So here we go. We quickly flip over, switch the ship to stealth mode. That powers down the shields. Whatever is in the shields, of course, remains, but they will not recharge. And that powers down all my other ship systems. Now you can see all the ship systems on that power display are now, those SIGs are coming down. They're nowhere near the levels that the Hornet Ghost was, but they have been severely diminished. Now, let's see if it works. Now, one of the things that might be interesting to implement in the game in the future is some type of counter detection system. Now, I don't mean a system that prevents detection, but a system that actually detects whether or not you have been detected. Oh, there's our first NPC over there off to our left, appearing to defend for this mission, and yet no aggression. Now, of course, I don't have crime stat rating yet, but very soon I should. So once again, since I'm using the Cutlass and I'm trying to do this a little bit better, I'm going to actually fly right up to the door and then just turn the Cutlass, get its big ass around, and then just use the rear hatch to hopefully just walk in and out. Well, it's going to be a little bit further away just because we want to be safe. But it should make it really handy to get in and out. Whoops. Minor graphical bug. We've had a few over the weekend, including the return of the old HUD. That was something that briefly appeared for about a day and then disappeared. The old style Star Citizen HUD from the 1.0 series days. That made a brief reappearance in the game, though it wasn't looking too good. Looks like it's actually been downgraded a bit, but that briefly appeared. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Powering off the array. No immediate crime stat notification. Looks like we're good. We hop in. Now it does say that we did get crime stat rating there. So where we didn't have crime stat rating before, but it does record that we did complete the mission. So it is recording a criminal act. But when you're operating in stealth mode, it doesn't seem like you get attacked for it. Now I decide to get very brave and push my luck to see just how good this is. Unfortunately, fate would intervene. So here I am. I'm now making a jump to Olisar, and I am going to see just how far my crime stat rating went, because technically that went up to +5, and I wanted to see if I would get attacked. I mean, or it should have gone up to +5. But what I didn't realize was that the server had crapped out. And so probably the reason why I wasn't being attacked is because nothing was working and the game was about to crash itself. And I kept clicking on the comlink. And I was thinking it was going through, but nothing happened. I wasn't getting assigned a docking area, and I went, oh crap, come on. No. I wanted to see if it was working, or maybe it was related to the crime stat, but all these ships stopped moving, and I'm like clicking the button, and nothing. I'm not getting assigned a docking berth, and then eventually the game just totally gives up, and we get crashed off the server. Now, of course, all this is just the beginnings of an idea, just the beginnings of an exploration. This is something that's going to be needed, well, it's something that's going to need a lot more testing, a lot more exploring across a wide variety of missions, and also testing out with some friends to see what the threshold for detection is, if it's just limited to NPCs or if other players are limited by the same amount. But it seems that in the current iteration, with what I was playing with this morning, anybody who owns the Hornet Ghost and was hoping it's a good stealth ship, well, it definitely seems to do the job. And the Cutlass Black, if that is indeed working as intended, and there is even like the possibility that through the component system that we can take it further, that presents some real possibilities with the Cutlass Black that maybe we didn't all take into account, and further hangs a bigger question mark on the Prowler in the future. So anyways, that is the beginnings of my exploration of the stealth system. A long way to go, a lot of things to test, and of course this game is being iterated on all the time. Almost on a daily basis we're getting patches, so what works today might not work tomorrow. But if this is just the beginning of this system and how it's going to work, it seems to be starting from a pretty promising area. I hope that it'll be a little bit more difficult to manipulate your stealth or your ship signature and to evade detection. Something a little bit more intricate, but I like the fact that you got a button that more or less puts your ship into silent running. That's also a good idea, and hopefully in the future it'll only get better. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.